Hello everybody, I'm Krasi and this is my week for the 12 Ascendants. I will be talking about the week from 8th of December until 14th December including, and first I will make an overview of the most important celestial events, what in general to expect from the week, and after that you will see, I will talk ascendant per ascendant, how the celestial events will possibly influence each of the 12 ascendants, and the timestamps you will find under this video. So the most interesting event, actually there are a few things happening on the sky. Everything is important, of course, but what is interesting is the full moon on the 11th of December, which is taking place in Sidereal, Taurus, where the moon is exalted, and this is quite powerful full moon. Now, while this will be taking place, the full moon on the 11th of December in Taurus, quite powerful celestial event. Actually, of course, every full moon is powerful, certainly influencing us on emotional level differently, each person, but this full moon is quite interesting because Taurus is the sign where the moon is exalted. So for those who like to do spiritual practices, this could be quite powerful, like a portal which can promise our consciousness, intuition to be enhanced. We can make some prayers which could be very powerful in relation to abundance, whatever you like. But it's a quite powerful placement of the moon on the 11th. You have to see for your area, for your geographical area, at what time is the full moon taking place exactly, and then certainly you can do some spiritual practices for good to connect with the creator in the universe, and this could be something very nice. In the meantime, we're having what we already have for quite some time, this interesting conjunction between Jupiter, Ketu, Venus, Saturn, Pluto, all taking place in Sidereal, Sagittarius. During this period, Jupiter will be invisible, and Saturn is still visible for another week, and after that he's also hiding in the rays of the sun, and we will also not be able to see Saturn. But since we're talking about this week, what is happening this week is that Jupiter, Ketu, Venus, Saturn, Pluto are all together in the sign of Sagittarius. Very, very spiritual placement, very spiritual sign, the most powerful, the most significant sign about philosophical knowledge, studies, abundance, merciful actions, about knowledge, teaching, priesthood. All this is the sign of Sagittarius, because also there is the Milky Way placement of the high spiritual hierarchies. So all these planets meeting there is about like moving on another level of spiritual awareness, consciousness. And this conjunction right now doesn't mean so much. This conjunction right now is kind of preparation for what will be happening after January 2020, for which I will make, and I'm preparing already a separate analysis for each of the 12 ascendants for the 2020, and also in general for the year to come. But certainly it's like the planets are having their assembly, and certainly it's all about moving people on mundane level, on another level of consciousness. For sure. Now, in this very moment, we're having visible Mercury in the sign of Scorpio. In Scorpio, Mercury is very special. He is so-called peregrine, which means that he doesn't have any specific rulership. He is a peregrine. He is not there bad, he is not good, he's just a peregrine, but he's visible. And being visible is not something that we see every day, Mercury visible, because he's usually so near the sun that we are not so lucky to detect him. Now he is a morning star, which would say that we will be able now to see Mercury very, very early before the sun rises. And, you know, since Mercury is about communication, trade, he certainly negotiations, our mental capabilities and creativity, astrology, and now in the sign of Scorpio, he's about knowledge, but knowledge, the Scorpio knowledge type, hermetic knowledge of the esoterics, of healing, of medical practices. So he is very deep and very interesting in the sign of Scorpio. Doesn't really matter that he's peregrine, having no special dignities. He always has dignities because he's always about knowledge. So this is what is actually happening, and also we are still also this week, including we having Mars, who is detriment in the sign of Sidereal Libra. He's against his own sign, and when he's in Libra, he is really his nature. This is a sign which doesn't really very much respond to his nature, and we are supposed to keep in mind that Mars is detriment in the sign of Libra, and we need to be cautious, not to be impulsive, to think twice when we make a decision, not to rely on our impulsiveness, but more on good organization and really using our intuition and creative capabilities. And I think this will be helped by the visible Mercury in the Martian sign of Scorpio. So this was just an overview, but I'm telling you the important events that the world is expecting to take place and everyone talks about will be, it's like now is the preparation for, and then there is going to be this eclipse which is taking place on the 26th of December, not this week, and which is taking place again in the sign of Sagittarius. And I will talk separately about this eclipse, but all these events are like preparation for more significant world events to take place in the 2020. And once again, I think I did it in our videos. I'm inviting you to think what happened in your country. What was the big change that took place 30 years ago in 1989. Many regimes have changed during this period, 1989, 1990, all over the world. So this is just to give you some idea to think about. But this all what happened 30 years ago was a result of Saturn, who was in his own sign. So this was just basic overview. Now let's see what is happening ascendant per ascendant, starting with the sign of Aries, of course. And yes, Aries ascendant, your ascendant ruler is detriment in Libra. I started with this, and this would say that this can influence a little bit your relationship, your in general, not only your private relationship, but relationships in general. Now, the good thing is that there is some possibilities, your impulsiveness, if needed, to be structured and well organized. And this is due to the fact that Mars in Libra receives harmonious influences from Venus, Saturn, Pluto. And with this, you will be able to put some kind of structure and discipline over your private life, for example, or you will be able to communicate well because of the harmonious, very practical influences of Saturn, who is making a harmonious aspect towards your ascendant ruler. But still, you're having your Mars in 7th house, which would say be patient and loving in your private life. This month, be patient when you negotiate, when you may travel, you may, but the week can be very interesting for your spiritual awareness. This, what is happening on your 9th house is a powerful conjunction which can influence for very good your spiritual awareness, your studies for good. All this is can influence you in a very positive way. But it can be so that this particular invisibility of Jupiter on your ninth house also enhances your intuition, interest in esoteric, secret knowledges and sciences, and all this is for good. This can create opportunities for communication with people abroad or negotiations, but however, keep in mind for the detriment ascendant ruler, and when you are aware, then you will be able to structure and control your impulsiveness if needed. You may travel, you may negotiate during this week, but once again, having the knowledge of your detriment ascendant ruler in the sign of Libra. Okay, and now we're looking at Taurus ascendant. Now for you, right now, your ascendant ruler is in your 8th house, which is, well, your ascendant ruler is together with Saturn, is together with Jupiter, is together with Pluto on your 8th house. And this is interesting. This is a little bit secretive. It's not directly influencing so much your personality. More could be that more you receive surprises in unexpected or hidden way, or the news and the surprises come via through your partner or partnerships in general. Could be that there is a lot of activity happening on your 6th house in your routine environment, which can be a little bit disharmonious. So this environment you may need to like to control to a degree, or to be patient and very intuitive towards. On the other hand, you're having Mercury, who is now visible and who has his heliacal rise, became visible on your 7th house. This can create interesting communication with in relation to partnerships, but still keep in mind that your ascendant ruler is with Saturn, so you are a little bit restricted, but still interesting, unexpected incomes are possible. Incomes through partnerships are possible. This week you may negotiate, you may travel, but keep in mind to be intuitive and cautious and careful for your health and in your routine environment and with your subordinates. Okay, this was about Taurus ascendant, and now we're looking at Gemini ascendant. Now for you, we know already this interesting conjunction of planets, Jupiter, Ketu, Venus, Saturn, Pluto. All this is happening on your 7th house. Quite some activities in relation to your private relationships, also in relation to your agreements and relationships and people you know and businesses in general. Quite some new activities. However, keep in mind that Jupiter is invisible, and with this he's not so supportive. Now, interesting things like plans, movements, news, communication may be taking place with your subordinates in your routine everyday environment. So this is one possibility, which is interesting. It is certainly not bad. However, now Venus is softening very much the influences of Saturn and Pluto on your 7th house, and Venus can be very much also softening or improving your private relationship, your private life. So in this sense, Venus is playing a very good role. Now, this could be also very spiritual week, very, very interesting, very intuitive week for you. You may travel, you may negotiate, you may have some challenges with your private life, and there you may need to be loving and patient. But apart from that, the softening influence of Venus is there to be a helping hand when you need to improve something in your private life, for sure. You may travel, you may negotiate. Now we're looking at Cancer ascendant. Now for you, this week, the powerful conjunction between Jupiter, Ketu, Venus, Saturn, Pluto is taking place in your 6th house. And with this, it's a lot. Many things will be happening in your routine, in your working routine environment. And Venus is there to be very helpful. So this is certainly not bad, but there will be a lot of activity, ongoing things and plans, and possible conflicts with subordinates, which Venus will be there to soften and to help. On the other hand, Mercury is appearing heliacally on your 5th house. This is very nice in relation to new knowledge, new information, new desires to study, this communication with children that can be improved. So this is very nice. So this week you may travel, you may negotiate. Be aware a little bit for some hostilities in relation to your career, a bit like communication with superiors that can result in some tension at home. So be very diplomatic. Whatever you do, use your intuition. And Venus is having a very helping aspect. So I'm sure it will be okay, but keep in mind that there may be some need for you to use your intuition and to, in diplomacy, diplomatic skills. Apart from that, the week is okay with the powerful influences of Venus helping. Okay, now we're looking at Leo ascendant. Now for you, the powerful conjunction of planets, Jupiter invisible, Ketu, Venus, Saturn, Pluto is happening on your 5th house. There Venus is helping very nicely. Your private life, your love life is helping also. Your desire to study, creative studies, pleasure, artistic work. For this is very nice. On the other hand, Mercury became visible heliacally on your 4th house. Could be interesting new plans for your work at home, plans for work at home, or just some plans which could be related to creative work of communication, or something that could be related to your talents, like healing talents. Now, on the other hand, Mars is detriment on your 3rd house, and with this he's saying that the week is not so appropriate for you to travel or negotiate. But the week, on the other hand, can be very good and very creative and supportive for your work environment, also financially, by the way, and supportive for your communication with children. But still, we are not forgetting that Saturn and Pluto are on your 5th house. And with this, I'm repeating like I do every week, because I feel this is important, that you may need to be attentive and careful with children. Venus is there to help, but still, Saturn and Pluto are not to underestimate when they are on someone's 5th house. They can be very nice when it comes to knowledge, when it comes to studies that could relate ancient history, ancient studies, study of occultism, of esoterics, but on the other hand, they can have also their influences, which can also be a little bit negative. Okay, so this was for Ascendant Leo. And now we're looking at Ascendant Virgo. Now for you, the powerful conjunction of planets is happening on your 4th house. Jupiter invisible, Ketu, Venus, Saturn, Pluto, they're all meeting on your 4th house. And there, this is very interesting. This is promising that many things may be happening for you at home, or that can result with some activity at work. Venus is there to play her supportive role for sure. So whatever is happening, Venus is there to give a helping hand. Your ascendant ruler is in the 3rd house, and this week in particular in degrees, knowledge about the degrees of Hermes. And this is beautiful because this can be related to your knowledge of natural studies, of healing, and of just esoteric knowledge of ancient studies. And this could be very nice. This could be supportive to travel and negotiate, and could be that this week you will receive such opportunities to travel, negotiate, communicate, you do media work, do some work with people abroad. So this is a possibility. The week is absolutely not bad for you. But since Mars is detriment on your 2nd house, it's good to keep in mind that you may need to be patient with family members, or you may need to be very structured and very well organized and not impulsive when it comes to you making money, your work environment. So this is important to tell you. Other than that, Venus is helping very much in your 4th house to support your home, to support your career. and it's good for the finances. And on the other hand, Mercury is also very nice on your third house to enhance also your spirituality, awareness, possibilities to communicate with people abroad, or to travel, or to communicate. So, and now let's look at Libra ascendant. Now for you, Mars is detriment on your ascendant, which is a little bit, let's say, a bit disharmonious. This could be so that you feel a little bit disharmonious yourself with your emotions, also with people. It's like it could be that you experience the environment around yourself not very, very friendly. But this is normal. When you have your descendant ruler on the ascendant, disharmonies of different types are possible. How exactly this will manifest, of course, it can be seen on your natal chart. However, your ascendant ruler on the third house is helping, but it's still a little bit limited with Saturn. But still, Venus and Saturn loves Venus, and this is not a bad placement of Saturn and Venus on your third house. This is very esoteric, very spiritual. It is a little bit restricting the love life or your feeling of joy. This is possible, but on the other hand, this can be very nice for your studies, very interesting to like find out new truths or new horizons or new knowledge and new information. Could be very interesting for communicating with people abroad. Mercury became visible on your second house, and this can be nice for your plans, for creating opportunities to have for communication, to have to present something, or to plans in relation to esoteric knowledges of Hermes, for example, because this week especially Mercury is visible in very powerful Hermetic degrees, degrees which very much fit the nature of Mercury. And on your second house, this could be related to the way you make money, like with new ideas, with new plans, communication skills, negotiations. Oh, this is a very good possibility. The week is definitely not bad for your finances and for your communication and for your plans, enhancing your intuition, your knowledge, communication with family members. But because Mars is detriment on your ascendant, be cautious and be when you experience disharmonies and lack of joy, just work on these with having already knowledge what is behind these emotions, for example, and connect with the universe, or with spend some time in the nature. Yes, and knowledge is power, and this moment will pass. But apart from that, the week can be good for you. Just stay away from risky situations with Mars on the ascendant, and take very good care of your health. Of course, this is a must say for this week in particular. And now we're looking at Scorpio ascendant. For you, Mercury visible is on your ascendant, and this week passing through very interesting, knowledgeable degrees of Hermes, sacred degrees on your ascendant, that could review information, knowledge, truth about the knowledge of Hermes, the ancient secrets, ancient knowledge, ancient secret history, ancient esoteric truths, and just universal truth. Oh, this is very beautiful. Healing, natural, Reiki, all these things that now people do. And this is about also the sun on the ascendant can give you very, very good energies. Even though your ascendant ruler is on the 12th house, still the sun on the ascendant is something very beautiful. Mars on the 12th house can be reason to have interesting, a bit disturbed sleep, maybe, desire for solitude, desire to deepen your knowledge in relation to the secret studies, for example, esoteric studies, or do some merciful, helping others actions. On the other hand, on your second house, you have in Jupiter invisible, Ketu, Venus, Saturn, Pluto, all on your second house. And this is could be supportive for your finances, softening the influences of Saturn and Pluto. So the week is good for you. new plans are possible, opportunities to travel, and this is all possible to take place this week. So this was about Scorpio ascendant. Now we're looking at Sagittarius ascendant. Very interesting for you. We are repeating this, I know, but you have it now. Jupiter invisible, Ketu, Venus, Saturn, Pluto on your ascendant. So a lot is happening. Maybe you're experiencing some kind of change already. Mars is creating harmonious aspect towards your ascendant, but Mars himself is not very harmoniously placed this week, so this can create some possible disturbances in relation to communication with children, or your social circle in general, or some disturbances in relation to the way you make money. So this is a possibility. On the other hand, it could be also that this creates very busy environment, social circle, like very busy, a lot may be happening. Venus on your ascendant is helpful for your finances, and to improve your relationship with your partner, with your in your private life. So Venus on the ascendant is a true blessing. Because right now you're missing Jupiter, who is invisible, but Venus is there like to take over for a while, to be really very, very helpful on your ascendant. So this week, yeah, you may, it's not very, very productive, but still you are allowed to travel. You may negotiate. And yes, this is basically the most important for you for this week. And now we're looking at Capricorn ascendant. For you, your ascendant ruler is on your Capricorn ascendant, is on your 12th house, together with invisible Jupiter, Venus, Pluto, Saturn, all together on your 12th house. And this is nice, because even though your ascendant ruler is in your 12th house, where he is a little bit in isolation, so to say, Venus is there, and she's softening very much the emotions of Saturn, who is ruling your ascendant. So she will be indirectly giving you joy and protection, improving health, and all these things. Jupiter is also there, but he's invisible, so we cannot rely so much on Jupiter. However, Venus, Saturn are together, and this is very nice for your improving health, giving you better emotional feelings, and so. Mercury is on your 11th house, and this is good for your finances and for your plans, and to support also your routine environment. Be a little bit aware for some disharmonies in your career place. Be very cautious with how you communicate with superiors. Disharmonies and hostilities are possible, so be very intuitive. Be very diplomatic. Don't take things too deep, too personally, and this moment will pass. Otherwise, apart from that, the week is just okay for you. Now we're looking at Aquarius ascendant. Now for you, your ascendant ruler in the 11th house, with Venus, with Jupiter, with Ketu, Pluto. And this is nice, because Venus is really very much helping Saturn there, softening his influences, giving him good support, feeling, and joy. Venus is beautiful together with Saturn. She's really indeed softening and giving joy to his influences, improving them. And a lot is happening in your 11th house. This will be supportive for your finances, for your plans, for your social circle, for communication with children. But still, Saturn, Pluto on your 11th house, I'm repeating, I know, but be attentive with children. Mercury on your 10th house with the Sun is good for your career, for your plans, communication with superiors. This is good. Mars on the 9th can be a sign that you may need to be a little bit cautious when communicating with people abroad, when traveling even. So also can create some impulsiveness in relation to studies or decision making. Be a little bit cautious about this, and just be alert, be diplomatic, be intuitive, and when you have knowledge, everything will be okay. In any case, the heliacal rise of Mercury on your 10th house is something very good in relation to your career, relationships, in your career place, in your plans. So this could be something very good. And now let's see, Pisces. For you, your ascendant ruler became invisible. And this is not so easy to, I don't know, it is interesting how you perceive these energies, because this is your ascendant ruler. And when he becomes invisible, you may feel that you're lacking his protection to a degree. So Jupiter is powerful in his own sign, but he's invisible. So his energies are there, but very delicate. But maybe you who know what his energies are, you can still experience them for good. Venus is softening the influences otherwise of Saturn on your 10th house, and this could be good helping hand for your career environment. On the other hand, Mercury became visible with the Sun together on your 9th house. This is wonderful for communication, for travel, for some very nice achievements from the occult, from the esoteric, from the spiritual world. If you're a healer, you may feel good, different powers enhanced. Or if you have powerful intuition as well, if you're studying, this is also supportive. So you may travel, you may negotiate. The week is very fine in this regard. Yes, apart from, as I told you, the Jupiter invisible who is ruling your ascendant, this is something that you may be feeling. Or you may be feeling this on a very subtle, delicate level. You may still feel his influences, but a bit like not that evidently, not that powerfully, but still he is there, and he is on your 10th house, and he's certainly supportive, but to a lesser degree. So apart from that, you may travel, you may negotiate, you're having a powerful blessing of Venus on your 10th house, but let's not forget that Saturn and Pluto are also there. So still be alert, be diplomatic, be careful at work, in your career environment. So, okay, these were my 12 ascendants, the week for the 12 ascendants. Your comments are welcome. Have a very good week.